Welcome, Quilt Roadie friends. I told you and I promised that I would release a video today, and I am going to keep my promise along with G's help. So, needless to say, we're still unpacking, still building, still working, still trying to get organized. But I worked really hard on the beehive, and so I'm going to just take you in and show you how it's laid out, and then we're just going to have a conversation about future plans and what it was like this last 2 weeks. So come on in. So my beehive now is at the end of an upstairs hallway. The upstairs includes G's music room, a guest room, our master bedroom, the laundry room upstairs, and then the beehive. So come on in. Sorry if the camera ends up being a little shaky as we go in, okay? So here we go. You know, surprisingly, this beehive seems a little bit bigger in some ways than my previous one, but my stuff didn't fit in it the same way. So here we go. As you can see, it's kind of a giant upstairs roof line kind of room. There's a closet, double door closet. I'm going to close the door here. I've been hanging stuff up, trying to figure out where to put everything. So this closet is not as big as the closet I had on Birch. But if you remember that closet, you could actually walk into. This closet, you just open the doors and you're looking at it. So I kind of did all my project boxes. And let me tell you, packing up the beehive and moving it was like a come to Jesus moment for me. Oh my gosh, do I have a lot of stuff. But the reason I chose this room was because of the bookcase. It has one whole wall of bookcase that I am using to display all of my stuff. Can you believe that? That was all built in? Oh my gosh. And I made the choice of displaying my fabric because I didn't have room in the closet on the shelves, and the shelves were not deep enough for the project boxes. So the fabric is all being displayed on open shelving, which I love because I can actually see what I have. And this is a north-facing window, and the fabric is across the room. This room only has one window, and so it doesn't get exposed to light. And if I am not using this fabric up fast enough, then woe's me. I need to, let me tell you. So I laid the room out. I'm just going to kind of do a spin around a little bit. I've got my table in the center, my cutting table at the other end, and I decided to store all of my yardage wool in those bins underneath that cutting table. And the reason being is I have no idea what the moth population is like around here. In Central Oregon, I never had to deal with moths in my wool. But here I don't know on this side of the mountain. So I decided to enclose them into drawers. So they're kind of by color code, and I've put them in those bins underneath the cutting table. And then there is my ironing board, which I recovered, and it is against, you'll notice that there's a little door. That little door goes under the house, not under the house, into the attic space, but it's not finished off. It's just like a place for, like, if you needed something repaired or something. And so I just butted that ironing board right up against it. And there's my rolling IKEA cart, which we will address later. I decided to put both sewing tables against the window because of the light. And so I have the Sweet 16 on one side and the Janome sewing machine on the other. And so the two tables kind of are butted up against each other. And I can't open the sewing table all the way because there just isn't enough chair room. And there is my rack of things that need to be quilted. And yes, you only see two there, and the reason being is that I still haven't found the box with the other stuff that needs to be quilted. Now if we come over this way, you can see on the opposite wall is my design wall, and there's my hexies, my sweet hexies. I'm going to catch up on that project because I love that project, but there's my hexies. As I scroll around the room, there's my hexie desk, and then you see another door right there that goes on this side of the attic space, and that's a little bit more finished. And so I actually am using that space to store things that I don't need, like the box for the Sweet 16, the sewing machine suitcase, 2 plastic bins full of batting. So that's what I've stored under there. And then this was actually where I kept all my thread and any applique things, and it's stored with that stuff too. And so then I come back around this room, and then there's all my fun stuff. Oh, so much, so many memories, and I know, a lot of dusting in my future, huh? Yeah, and I have my magazines, my books, my patterns, my music. And surprisingly, this was all in the beehive on Birch, but it was kind of scattered around, and for some reason not everything is fitting into this space. Okay, I'm going to just show you out the window why I chose this spot, because right outside the window is that mountain called Scouter's Mountain. It has fabulous hiking trails. It's just a beautiful scene to look at, and so when I'm sitting at my sewing machine, I get to look at that, and that's why I chose to put the machines at this end. Okay, stay tuned. So that was kind of a quick 360, 180 view of the new beehive. This used to be, for the previous family, a media room. And so there is a movie camera, or I don't know what you call it. I am so not techie. There's a projector. There's a projector and a screen that comes down in front of that bookcase, but I was going to just take it out, and then my younger son said, "Oh, Mom, just think if the grandchildren come over and want to watch a movie, you'll be like the most popular grandma." And so I decided to just leave it up for now, even though I have no clue how it works. So let me tell you, it has been quite a journey. On so many different levels, on so many different levels. It's been an emotional one, but at the same time, it feels like the right decision. And although I haven't been able to keep up on answering, or acknowledging all the comments that I've been receiving, I have read each and every one of them, and I know that many of you expressed desire to be near your grandchildren, and that's truly what motivated us, is that there was nothing holding us from that decision but our own frame of mind. And it was challenging to leave behind history and some friendships that are forever in my heart. But what I realized in this COVID existence that we're in is that it just takes a little effort to maintain those connections, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it and kind of try to create a balance in my life. Moving, as I've said, if you read the Woolly blog, you'll know that moving had its positive benefits in terms of no help to pack. So G and I were able to examine every single piece of paper in our life and decide worth keeping, getting rid of. And towards the end, it was like not even being able to examine, just throw it in a box and examine it on the other end. But we did it. Our bodies were screaming on this end because we had movers that picked up everything and dumped it all off here. But having to unpack that amount, I could not believe how painful my hands were. Just from ripping boxes open, cutting the tape, and just, you know, and then I started thinking, I actually need to take care of my hands because I'm a stitcher. I'm a stitcher. And so we've been slowly progressing. We're now at a point where we're allowing ourselves, we're taking naps every afternoon. We're allowing ourselves a little bit of downtime. G helped me get things hung in here, like the rack and stuff, and now he's working on his music room, which is fun for him. And it's kind of different because when you move to a brand new community and you move during COVID, you don't meet your neighbors. I mean, I did meet, one neighbor came out and introduced herself to me, and I can't tell you how special that was. But it's pretty isolating in a lot of ways. So you end up trying to nest in your own house. And for those of you that can't move, maybe moving rooms around or redecorating. I mean, redecorating seems to be a huge, I mean, the one time we went to Home Depot, people, that was more packed than Costco. Because I think people are looking to, they can't go anywhere. They can't really do anything, so they're trying to create a new environment for themselves. And I totally get that, because the exciting part about this has been, I've been totally distracted from all the isolation by the sheer moving. Because it literally was 7.5 weeks from decision to move. It was a little bit on the slow side for G and I. I mean, we've done things faster than that, but given that we did it ourselves. And moving the beehive, talk about what I call a come to Jesus moment. Oh man, you really learn a lot about yourself when you're packing up a sewing or craft room. You really learn a lot. And it's not all pretty, let me tell you. But then you rediscover things that you'd totally forgotten about. And then you learn things about yourself that you totally didn't want to know, but now it's in your face. Yeah. So what I found out was that I am like a lab puppy. the brain of a lab puppy, or as my friend Sandy says, a crow who sees a shiny thing over there. I found so many projects that I love, and I still love them, that were abandoned because I saw something new. And so I made a small pile of things that I found. And this isn't, I'm not talking about the project boxes or the whips or the UFOs so much, those things that are in that closet. I'm talking about other little projects I found that I went, oh, I can't believe I never finished this. What what happened? What happened? You know, so I made a pile of those. I'm going to show you because I am going to get those done. I am approaching 2021 in an entirely different way, and it's going to challenge my personality, I guess. I don't want to say I'm not going to buy another thing. I really want to say I'm not going to buy another thing. I do want to say that, but I know I'd be liar, liar, pants on fire. But I do want to approach 2021 in a more successful way, I guess. And so I have decided in my quilting world, the only time I am going to buy something brand new is if I need fabric for a binding, fabric for a backing, or if a project, I need fabric to finish a project. Like I don't have a piece in my stash, but I would be surprised if I did. Now I totally get that I won't have a backing or I might not have a binding, but I'd be surprised if I didn't have pieces of fabric that would work to complete a quilt. My stack, my 3 biggest stacks of fabric, because I have them according to color wheel, and I also have them according to genre. So I have a stack of Halloween fabric, a whole stack of Halloween fabric, a stack of Christmas fabrics. I have a stack of bee fabrics. Yeah, duh. And so I have quite a bit of fabric to work from. So I'm going to just be allowing myself the binding, the backing, the border, if I don't have it, to finish projects. And I already ordered the French General's block of the month. It starts in March. So I'm going to say that's a gift. That's a gift for me as my one brand new, and I'm going to try to stay up on it. I can't see a reason why I couldn't this year, given the parameters I'm setting for myself. And some of you may want to join me in that. But some of you may be going, oh, no way, I mean, because we have in COVID been shopping like crazy, haven't we? But I also found so many, and the reason I'm saying I'm not buying anything new is because I found tons of kits. Wool kits, embroidery kits, quilt kits, more than enough to keep me busy. And so what I'm saying, I'm expecting you guys to hold me to it, and I know some of you will. And I promise I won't refuse your call. Is that as I finish a project, I'm going to allow myself, if I want, to start a new project that I already have, because I have many projects that haven't been started that are kitted up, that I bought as kits. And so I want to get through some of those so that I can enjoy new things out there. But I need to get this feeling off of my back, this monkey off my back of, what the heck were you thinking? Yeah, you know that one. So I thought I'd go through the small pile that I found of stitching that I was going, oh, I forgot about that one. Why didn't I ever do anything with that one? So I thought I would go through that. But I wanted to address another, not issue, but another part of YouTube. Because someone asked me, they were commenting on my Woolly blog, and they said, is it better to comment on the Woolly blog, or should I comment on the Quilt Roadies? Well, let me tell you, when you subscribe, and there's no cost to subscription, and you click that little bell, all it does is let you know when I do a video. But when you subscribe and then you leave a comment or a thumbs up, Google gives me like a penny or something like that. And so that's a way to support the channel without having to put any money out on your part. Because one of the things is that Google did at the end of this year is they sent me all my stats, and I normally don't even pay attention to those, but I opened it up and I was really surprised that there was 50 point something % of subscribers, but there were 49.9% of people who watched the videos that weren't subscribed. And I thought, well, that's pretty interesting. So I'm asking you to subscribe. And I'm asking you to do that as no effort on your part other than to click on that subscribe button, and then Google will help me keep going. And in order to encourage all of that, I am going to do a giveaway for the subscribers of Quilt Roadies. You may not want this giveaway, let me tell you, because one of the things I found, I have a whole pile, a whole bag of patterns and things for giveaways, but I thought for this particular giveaway, I am going to give away 3 blocks. Yes, I found 3 blocks that I had stitched but never used in anything, because when I did the quilt was a 12 block quilt, but it was too big for the wall. So I decreased the number of blocks in that quilt to 9 blocks. So I had 3 extra stitched wool blocks that are just laying around here, and I thought, why am I keeping them? I've already made the quilt, and it's by Primitive Gatherings, and they're beautiful blocks, so I'm going to show them to you. So someone who leaves a comment, thumbs up, and leaves a comment on this blog post will get these 3 blocks in the mail, if you want them. So here's the first one. This is all by Primitive Gatherings, and it's wool. I've stitched everything down. Here's the second one. Now you could either make a table runner or pillows. And here's the third one. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So these 3 blocks will be in the giveaway for this particular video if you're a subscriber. And I hope you will. I hope you will. It's just a simple way for you to help support us to keep on going. Keep on keeping on. Because I was surprised 49% of people who watch our videos are not actually subscribed to them. That was actually kind of shocking. So, here's the moment. Here's the pile of projects that I found that were partially done, and never completed, and I need to complete them in order to move on, because surprisingly, the beehive and sisters did not fit in this room, which is shocking to me. I keep saying that over and over to G. I'm like, it's like Hermione's purse in Harry Potter, how all these things come out of it and, you know, whole tents. It's surprising that things didn't fit, but they didn't fit, and so I need to make room. So the first, I found this little thing I was working on. I actually got this little kit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's just to practice stitching, and I did it at Kathy Deggendorfer was hosting Jean Wells and the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show at her home at the ranch, and we were each given a kit to stitch a la Jean Wells. So I want to finish that. I found this little snowman. Now, isn't he adorable? Now, he's all stitched. Everything is stitched on it, but I didn't do anything with it. Yeah, gonna do something with it. Here you go. And I don't remember who the designer of that one was. I do believe this was All Through the Night, Bonnie Sullivan, I'm thinking. But I didn't do anything with that. This is a Buttermilk Basin Mat, and there's the pattern. And I actually got this at the workshop that I went to, that she puts on every year. And so that was this wool mat. And from the back of this, it looks like it's all stitched. I just have to embellish it and finish the back. And then there is this one. This one needs to be stitched. The stitching is not done. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? See, these are the things that I found. I hope you won't judge me. Look at, I have all my pieces here. Look at those millions of pieces. And this is a Kathy Cardiff project that I took a workshop at Holly Hills when it was located in West Lynn. And this is the pattern. It's a quail in a bowl. So all of those have to be done. I know. It's almost like walking the quilt trail of shame, isn't it? Now this one is a table runner, all done, except for the binding. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? And I have the binding right here. The fabric for the binding. So, I need to do that. And don't even ask me who the designer of several of these are, because I have no clue. Let's see, this one is called Snowball, and it has no name on it who the designer is, but it's a wall hanging. Isn't that cute? That is so cute. Yeah, it really is an amazing look into one's own brain when you move. I had these blocks left over from something that I was going to turn into a table topper. Modern blocks. Binding fabric for this table runner. So you see, I forgot. I totally forgot I had these. That's the amazing part, is I totally forgot. And then I had all the blocks for a quilt out of this book. One of my favorite books. This is Atkinson Designs. If you ever need a book that shows some great quilt patterns that are not hard to do. But I had all the blocks, different blocks made, and you just have to lay them out in different ways. And let's see, here's a block. And you know, you rotate them around, and you know, it's almost embarrassing. I've missed you guys so much. Can I just say I've missed you guys? It has been quite a December, and it's so great to be back here. Okay. Yeah. This is a Primitive Gatherings. Gorgeous. Gorgeous fall. Let's see how far I got on this. I love the background fabric of this. Yeah, I'm still stitching on it, but so you can see my process. Remember, I'm the gal who uses soft fuse to fuse her pieces and SF101 on the back for floppy fabric. So this is a perfect example of how well that works, because these have been buried and they're still working and holding up and ready for to continue stitching. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then there's one last one. Oh, the last one. And, oh, the threads that bind. Bountiful Blessings. And this, it looks like it's ready for stitching. No stitching done on it, but ready for stitching. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so I'm thinking that I need to start working on these because I want to start something new. I am just going to let myself finish these each. As I finished one, I can have the option either to start something new or to continue on to one of these, whatever moves me, whatever moves me. I feel like because I missed Christmas, I need to do this table runner first thing, but we shall see, we shall see. So I'm keeping them all in my rolling IKEA cart. And these are things, again, these are items that are not, they are whips and UFOs, but they are not in the same way I think of it, because I totally forgot about them. They weren't in a project box, they were just stuffed at the bottom of something, and so now I'm going to keep them out where I can see them, which brings me to the next part of my thought process. I have too much. I mean, I love my quilting life. I love my cross-stitching life. But the bottom line is I love the process the most. I do not need another quilt. I do not need another wall hanging. But I love the process of it. And so for me, to buy something in order to make it for myself has no joy in right now. It just has no joy right now. But the thought of buying something or finishing something or making something as a gift for someone totally rocks my parade. Totally rocks me. And so I warned my family ahead of time and friends that they can expect to be on the receiving end of a whole bunch of stuff, because I love making things, but I really don't need a whole bunch of stuff myself. But I don't want to stop those creative juices and the love of creating, of sitting here at the machine and hearing that hum. I don't want to give that up, which means that I have to be more generous. And my sister told me, she goes, I will never refuse a quilt made by you. So that's a good thing. So when I hear people say, oh, I'm done, I don't need to make anything else, they're right. Maybe they don't for themselves. But oh, to make something that brings a smile to someone else's face, yeah. And who cares what they do with it, really? I mean, I remember back in the day, people would say, oh, I don't want to give a quilt to them because they might use it for their dog. Oh, I love dogs. So I had a quilt for my dog. So that's not going to work for me. Yeah, so it is sure great to be back and to finally sit in here and know that that machine's going to be humming. I love the fact that the Sweet 16 is right there, because I could ignore that thing and it could be just a storage table for quilts. And I found, remember that pile of quilts that needed binding? Well, there are 10 of them now, and they're in a basket. I rolled them up and stuffed them in a basket, and I've already bound one of them just because I needed to have a needle and thread in my hand. And so I decided to take a quilt down and start stitch, because all of those 10 quilts have the binding attached. I just have to tack it down. And so I started tacking down the first one and got it done last night, just to have a needle and thread in my hand. Yeah, this year's made me think about a lot. A former coworker of mine and friend passed away yesterday, the last day of 2020. She was a beautiful, beautiful soul. And when you realize things, that life is going to go on with or without you, you want to share what you have at the very least and enjoy what you have. And you want to give up the anger and the complaining, and you want to make a space in your heart, in your mind, for kindness, and realize that each day is a blessing, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. And I can't tell you how much it feels so great to be talking to you, to know that you're out there and that we can share back and forth. I just, I save a lot of beautiful things that have been sent to me are on the shelves, and I save the letters and the cards. I'm a hoarder that way of everything that's mailed to me, and it makes me realize how small the world really is and how much we are connected. and how lucky we are that we are connected by needle and thread, because it's based in giving and it's based in creativity, and those are all good things. Those are all good things. So we'll be starting to get on a regular schedule again. We're still unpacking though, oh my gosh, and our aching sacroiliacs, let me tell you. But we'll be cranking out the videos like we were before, you know, and sharing the process, and you'll keep me honest with this pile. And I'm going to be working on some project box quilts too. But be sure, if you're not an official subscriber, to subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And if you're a subscriber, leave in the comments that you are interested in these 3 primitive blocks stitched by my very own hand. And then there'll be one less thing I'll have to decide what to do with. Thank you so much. Thank you for being my friend.